So you want to learn AI in 2026. That's awesome. But let's be real, it could feel like you're about to climb a massive mountain. Well, today, we're not just going to give you a guide. We're giving you a full-on expedition map to conquer that mountain. Let's get into it.
You know that feeling when you look at the world of AI with all its buzzwords and complexity and just feel kind of overwhelmed? Yeah, you're not alone. It really is like standing at the bottom of Mount Everest with no clue where to even start. But here's the thing. Every great climb starts with a solid map. And that's exactly what this is, a clear, step-by-step path to the summit.
Okay, so before we start strapping on our boots, let's take a look at the peak. What does this AI mountain even look like right now, in 2026? Because, man, the landscape is changing at lightning speed. AI isn't some far-off future tech anymore. It's here, and it's a fundamental part of how we work, create, and solve problems every single day.
So when we strip away all the hype, what is AI, really? At its heart, it's all about building computer systems that can do stuff that normally requires a human brain. You know, things like understanding what you're saying, spotting patterns in a sea of data, or making a tough call. It's a huge field, so let's zoom in on the two big areas you absolutely have to know about.
You're going to hear these two terms all the time, machine learning and deep learning. Think of it like this. Machine learning, or ML, is the bedrock. It's all about teaching computers to find patterns in data without you having to spell everything out. Then you've got deep learning, which is like a supercharged version of ML. It uses something called neural networks, which are loosely inspired by our own brains, and this is the magic that powers the really advanced stuff, like self-driving cars and the AI chatbots we all use.
Okay, so we've got a feel for the terrain, but why should you even bother with this climb? Well, to put it simply, the demand for people with AI skills is just exploding. We're talking about one of the fastest growing job categories on the entire planet right now. And with that huge demand comes, well, some pretty great rewards. The average salary for an AI engineer in the US is floating around $140,000 a year. And that's not even counting related jobs like machine learning engineers, which are also way up there. The main takeaway here? These skills are incredibly valuable in today's world. Now, any good climber knows you don't just sprint up a mountain. You've got to get ready at base camp first. You need to pack the right gear, and for our AI expedition, that gear is a few foundational skills you'll want to have locked down before we start the real climb. So, what's in our backpack? First up, a little bit of math. And listen, don't let this scare you. You do not need to be a math genius. Just getting the basic ideas from linear algebra and probability is plenty to get started. Second, programming. Look, Python is the language of AI, period. So you'll want to get comfortable with the basics there. And finally, you've got to know how to handle data. Learning tools like NumPy and Pandas is like learning to read her map and compass. It's absolutely fundamental.
All right, our gear is packed, we're feeling ready. Now it's time for the main event, the ascent. We're going to break this climb down into 3 main stages, with each one taking us a little higher up the mountain.
So here's our route. First, we'll hit Camp 1, where you'll get the hang of classic machine learning, the core stuff for making predictions. Then we push on to Camp 2. This is where we dive into the deep end with deep learning and neural networks. And finally, we reach the summit. This is where the really cool, cutting-edge stuff lives. Generative AI that can create brand new things, and AI agents that can actually do tasks for you. And I want to pause on that for a second, because this is a huge deal in 2026. We're moving way beyond AI that just chats back and forth with you. AI agents can now plan and carry out complex, multi-step tasks, all on their own. Just imagine an AI that doesn't just find you a cool recipe, but actually orders the groceries and schedules the delivery for you. These things don't just talk, they do. Now, to get through these higher altitudes, you're going to need a modern toolkit. We're talking about the actual software, the libraries, and the platforms that pretty much every single person working in AI relies on to build their models. Your toolkit really breaks down into 3 main categories. For all your basic programming and data work, you've got Python and its friends. For the heavy-duty deep learning, you'll be using frameworks like PyTorch or TensorFlow. And for building cool stuff with today's massive language models, or LLMs, you'll use specialized tools that let you plug into their power and build your own apps right on top of them. And here's a little pro tip for you. You don't have to make this climb all by yourself. It's 2026. You can actually use AI to help you learn AI. I'm talking about tools that can automatically transcribe lectures for you, summarize dense research papers, or even organize your study schedule. It's like having a climbing partner that makes the whole journey way faster and more efficient. Okay, we've nearly reached the summit, but listen, no expedition is ever complete until you understand the risks and how to be responsible. Being a great AI practitioner isn't just about building cool stuff, it's about knowing the limitations of your tools and navigating the terrain safely. There are a few major hazards you've got to watch out for on this trail. First, AI models can hallucinate, which is just a fancy way of saying they can make stuff up and present it as fact very confidently. So a human in the loop is always essential. They can also pick up and even amplify unfair biases from the data they're trained on. And of course, you have to be super careful with privacy. Honestly, understanding these limits is just as important as knowing how to code the models in the first place. So there you have it, your complete map for the AI Mountain Expedition of 2026. You know what the terrain looks like, you've got your gear list, and you have a clear route from base camp all the way to the summit. The only question left is, which incredible AI mountain are you going to climb first?